Hi, welcome back to the Watercolor Westport Stories podcast. Today we are on a grand adventure in a new place, and we're off-site from watercolor and in one of the really charming shops that you would find in the village of Westport. We are here on Main Street at a new store that opened in 2024 called Lake and Main. This store is a just curated, beautiful space with owners who are joining us today we'll share with you about. So welcome, Alyson and Lisa.
Thank you.
So glad you're here with us.
Thank you.
So glad you're
Happy to be here.
Thank you for hosting us in your beautiful space. Oh, and of course, Stephen Rolston, founder, visionary behind Watercolor Westport, owner of Landark Homes, is here too. We'd love for you to just tell us a little bit about your journey. So thank you for having us. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, yeah, I'm happy to start on sort of our beginnings, and we do love to tell our story. We started because both Lisa and I use the same skincare for most of our adult life. It was a business that started in Kingston in 1998. And so it was a good friend of ours, a mutual friend from high school, who formulated all of her own natural, clean skincare. It's literally all I used until she closed her business in 2023 to become a grief counselor after her husband passed. So they had moved eventually out to BC and ran their business out there. It was a very successful business, but to become a grief counselor, she decided to close her business. So Lisa and I in 2023 were having dinner because we're in the same book club, and we're having the conversation as to what we're doing now that we couldn't access the skincare that we'd used for so many years. And to make a bit of a long story shorter, we ended up purchasing 10 of her formulas. She mentored us, she taught us to formulate, and we launched our business with 6 of those 10 formulas in September of 2023, only online. And we ran that business only online, 5 in the morning.
From my kitchen.
Out of Lisa's kitchen, because we both had full-time careers. So we did it like that for a period of time, realizing that we were outgrowing that space very quickly. We had done some markets that winter, and things were going, quite well. We were pretty excited, and so I had actually looked at this space, which used to be the Westport Bakery.
You need to tell that story
Yeah.
for sure.
But I've been looking at this place as the Westport Bakery closed in December of 2019. My husband and I have lived close by for the last, I guess, 8 years now. And I'd seen this space sitting idle for years. And so I had thought, I had even bought trays so that I could maybe run a little shop where I grew microgreens. And then we use those trays now to dry our soap on. And I had all sorts of different visions of what I thought this space could be. So when we decided that we thought we would look for a different space to start manufacturing in, and we only thought we would go somewhere to manufacture, and it happened to have this quaint little retail space in it, we reached out to the landlords and we took over this space officially in February of 2024 and opened our doors after renovating the space in April of 2024. So that's kind of how we started. Since then, Lisa has done formulation classes. I've done aromatherapy classes. We've taught ourselves. We've reached out to other mentors to learn, and we've since added about another 25 products to our lineup. So yeah, that's kind of how we started. And
in a nutshell.
Yeah,
really quickly. But going back a little bit to this storefront. Alyson had, there's this place, you have to come and check it out. It's beautiful. And of course, as soon as I saw the outside of the building, I was absolutely. And then you come inside and just the bones of this place are just fantastic. And we didn't set out to have a storefront. That wasn't in the cards, we didn't think, but we couldn't not. This is just such history, such a gorgeous, basically blank canvas to do very little that we had to do to make it a beautiful space. And so, it turned into just the perfect place for us, the right size, then, maybe not now, but it didn't take much to sell me on, I have this little place in Westport. Did not take much to convince me that this was the place, and have a little bit more of a risk taker than Alyson is. So I was like, okay, let's do it. And had the bakery counters and fridges and everything still in it at that point, and we still get a lot of people that walk in and, it smells great in here, but it's not the bakery anymore.
No cinnamon butter.
Where are the butter tarts?
Yes.
Yeah. How old is the building itself? Because you see these thick walls and the stone exterior. Do you have an idea?
I have no idea.
No.
There is an addition on the back. I'm not sure how old that is either, but it's definitely a century home for sure.
Yes, there's such a rich history in this village of so many landmarks, and I'm sure this is one of them.
And that is actually something that we should probably look into, because people do ask us, and I don't know the history of this building. It would be interesting to know when it was built, what the purpose was. Was it always a storefront, or was this a house? I don't know.
And I love the name Lake and Main, because you are on the lake and on Main Street.
That's exactly where it came from, but that wasn't our original name.
Okay.
Which is interesting. When we launched online, we called ourselves the Six for several reasons. One of them being that we launched with 6 products, but another being that we've always known that our online presence, we want to be national. And we thought that we could bring some awareness to the Toronto area, Ontario, sort of that. And it confused people what our name was, and so we knew that we were going to rebrand when we took over the space. So only 7 months after we had launched, we decided to completely rebrand. And it was a big undertaking, but in the end, it was absolutely the right thing to do.
And it was once we landed on this name, it was, this was what we always were. The 6 was never right, but.
And it connects us to Westport,
yes,
which we love the community of Westport.
Yeah, it absolutely does. For me, it also just speaks to some of the things that we know Westport is surrounded by, which is water, and lakes being just places of tranquility and refreshing and of vitality, and like all of the things that the products lean into as well.
And a small town Main Street.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the simplicity of that is sort of part of it too. Yeah.
When you took over that initial product line, were there things in there that, have you kept them all, first of all?
We have all 6 of them still,
Okay, and are they still the mainstay of?
We swapped one out.
We did switch one.
Yeah, we created our own hyaluronic acid. It took us about 8 months, 9 months to create something that we felt fit better into that, whole system ritual of skincare. And so we swapped one of the products out, but we sell them as the 6 with this new product in it as well. So,
but I think our face line is by far our biggest selling products that we have, and in particular, one item by far outsells every other product in here, and it's for Lisa, it's the absolute reason why she wanted to take this over.
100%. I have never found anything remotely like it. I have super sensitive skin, and for me, I was like, well, what are you doing instead of? She called it rejuvenating serum, and for us, it's Nourish. I'm like, what are you doing instead of that? Like, I can't find anything. And I'd used it since I was 28 years old, 56 now, and I had that little break in my in my skincare routine that I didn't know what to do about. And for me, that's the keystone product for me. That was my reason.
Amazing. Well, we find inspiration in different ways, and we have opportunities that cross our paths in different ways. It's really interesting to hear how you guys have had that intersection of need and opportunity and inspiration, and here it is all landing in this beautiful place.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. I don't know in terms of like just how you came to being, I mean, I know you're interested obviously in your skincare for a very long time. You've invested in taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
But that idea that you couldn't find anything else, I'm curious about that.
Yeah, so I very simple, sort of basic skincare routine ritual. I actually didn't even really start using anything until I found this product, and I didn't wash my face. Like the shampoo would run off my face in the shower, and that was my routine. And then I started using this moisturizer, and I keep things very, very simple for me, for my own routine. I don't know how much you wanted me to go into like about myself, but I was a retired phys ed science English teacher, and now a real estate agent as well. But I'm very busy and have a very active lifestyle, and I want simplicity in the other aspects of my life, for sure.
Sure. So it was important to you to hone in on something that was easy to use.
Yeah. Real products, things I could pronounce and know that they're clean. That didn't used to be important to me. It wasn't even on my radar. I just lucked into using clean products, since I was in my 20s, but it wasn't a focus. I didn't buy them because they were clean. I bought them because they were amazing. And now I realize that, thank goodness I did. Like, I got lucky.
Wow.
Yeah, because it is important now.
And so where did you grow up?
In Kingston. I'm from Kingston. I've lived in, I moved up to Calgary for 8 years and Ottawa area for 1, but came back home. Yeah, we went to high school together at Frontenac. Yeah.
Okay.
Amazing. So living in this area, this has been home for a long time. Have you got some suggestions for anyone considering moving to Westport as far as the vibrancy of life? Yeah. Because you're adding something significant here in this shop for people to be able to contribute to their wellness with the products. But what about beyond the walls of?
I love the community of Westport. I love the walkability of Westport. I love that everything that you could need is within a couple of minutes of a walk. And I just love the people that are coming to the community that are elevating our shops and our food and all of those aspects. Watching Kat building the new location of Starlit is like amazing. That's just it brings so much to Westport and so many business owners that are doing such great things to make Westport attractive. But what I find amazing is that in the summer when there's a music festival or anything going on, there's such great outpouring of community from the northern U.S., from Ottawa area, from Kingston area, from Toronto area, of people that just come flooding in on those weekends. Westport last year was remarkable how many people were coming through the town. I just find that fascinating.
Yeah, it's quite a destination.
Well, and I also live about 25 minutes south of here, but every night of the week I can come up and listen to fantastic live music in Westport. And I can't go into Kingston. I'm halfway in between. I can't go into Kingston to have that sort of sense of community and have a great meal and also have live music that is phenomenal. And the other thing that I've really, really appreciated here is the community support. Like when we were renovating, we were laying floors or painting, people would open the door, pop their head in and say, wow, what's going on here? And welcome to Westport. And this is fantastic. Oh, good for you. And it was just so, from the word go, it was welcoming, and it was just such a collegial place to land. And I didn't expect that. It wasn't sort of, we'll open in Westport because this is what we'll get. We'll open in Westport because here's this great place, and we'll see how it goes. But that was the whole part of that makes it this magic.
So there's relationships that are growing and
absolutely
new opportunities for you to develop.
And amongst other business people too. Like it is remarkable how supportive the other businesses are. Everybody wants the businesses to succeed, so people continue to come, and it has been amazing.
I know you've experienced that too, Stephen, haven't you, with Landark and starting?
I have, and just getting involved with What's On Westport, the business group that's now morphed into Westport Tourism, and meeting many of these business owners like yourselves. And it's only really when you informally get to do a podcast that you begin to informally hear a little bit more of someone's story. So when we did Ginny at Fornos at the model home, that was remarkable because I didn't quite get their store or her store, but just as you can slowly relax and such great food and such a great story and a background story, and then you're like, oh, okay, that's why you're doing what you're doing. Because I take it, did you both knowing one another, I know it was your friend's business, but was having clean skincare of interest to you, or did you just luck into knowing that as
For
well?
me, much more than Lisa. I started using her skincare, and then I'd lost both my parents quite young, and so it became a huge focus in my life to make sure that everything I was doing was to make sure that I got to meet my grandchildren, watch my grandchildren grow, a luxury my parents didn't get to afford. So I was always very cautious about what I ate, what I fed my kids, what I put on my skin. And it just so happened that one of my close friends from high school was this remarkable formulator. And so, yes, I actually, at different times, would spend time within her business, not necessarily working it, but when she did move out to BC, I wholesaled her product back into Kingston because I wanted to make sure that people in Kingston could still get her product. It meant that much to me. So,
Wow.
So yes. Did I ever think I would do this? No. Had no idea. I just assumed she would have ran her business forever and ever.
Yeah.
But this it worked out well, and she's a champion of ours. She's very supportive and loves what we're doing with her formulas.
There is an intersection there of that passion that I think is so important for the sustainability of any business, that you have something deeper than just. So thank you for sharing that with us, because it's sometimes losses in our lives that inspire us to do better. And I know even for Landark, this is Landark 2.0, as Stephen says. And maybe you could speak a little bit to that, the evolution of what we've done in Landark 1.0 versus this walkable community.
Well, looking back, I'm kind of embarrassed, or I shouldn't really maybe say that, but
I think we learn new things in life, don't we?
We do, and at just the right time, I learned about a place like Serenbe, and we were just sharing about this place in Atlanta that means so much to me. And I've met the founder, Steve Nygren, of that community for lunch and dinner, and he has a new book out, and I was just there in December and walked that community, and there's something about beauty and intimacy and adventure, and that's what I sense in your store. Is like everything is so beautiful. And skincare, I'm a guy, I don't really use skincare products so much, but you get a certain sense of being in this store and being in Serenbe, and when you're just around beauty and awe and wonder, it's such an inspiration. So yeah, I got out of home building for about 10 years in full-time Christian ministry as a volunteer, and then I walked in a walkable community, and I had no idea what that meant. And it was in Niagara-on-the-Lake, where I'd go every spring and fall and put on events. And I was transformed by a walkable community. And I just thought, wow, I want to get back into home building to let everyone experience the beauty and the awe and the wonder of what it would be like to live where you could know your neighbors and you could walk to everything. And that's one of the reasons Serenbe and dozens of other communities like it have inspired me to get back into it, because I don't want to be Serenbe. I don't want to, do what they do. I want to do what I feel called to do in this town.
But take inspiration.
But I'm sure you guys have dozens of people who've inspired you. So maybe you could share a little bit about those companies, because hopefully with us getting so many views, you'll say the right thing, and some smart person like Jake, who does our website stuff, he'll hashtag it, and then you'll go viral with one of these videos. And because I think everyone has a story, and everyone matters, and your business matters, because it too, like Forno's and like Starlet, is really elevating the retail landscape of Westport for everyone's benefit.
Yes.
So yeah, can you share about some of the companies that have inspired you guys, or the people?
I know that you talked about like Beauty Counter and Drew.
Greg Renfrew
Greg.
is a woman in the U.S. who is making great strides at trying to regulate our industry. The skincare industry is extremely unregulated,
and more so in the States.
Yeah, more so in the U.S.
but
than in
still
Canada.
bad here.
Yeah. And so one of the things that we try to do is be as transparent as possible. So we list every single ingredient on our website, on our products. Our process is right there for people to see how we make our products. Most skincare companies hide behind trade secrets. So they have a word maybe that says fragrance, and that word can mean it can have 100
multitude of
products in it, and a lot of them can be endocrine disrupting or can be something that our bodies just don't know how to assimilate. And so she owns a company that once was called Beauty Counter, now it's just called Counter. And I find her extremely inspirational, and I've listened to her on several podcasts, and so that to me is sort of how I see us moving through Canada in our online portion of our business, and that's being trustworthy and a brand that people know what they're getting, and fully transparent.
One of the things that I was listening to a podcast that she was on, and one of the things that sort of inspired me was, we're always in marketing, they're always saying, oh, who's your target? What's the problem? Who's your target market? What is their issue? And she said, like, I could say wrinkles, but wrinkles aren't a problem. They're just a thing. Like we age. Like
right.
It's and so I really liked the approach that she has about the natural transparency and not treating ourselves as though it's an issue or a problem to be overcome to not age and not have wrinkles and not to be healthy. So it isn't about for us it isn't about like beauty. It's about truly being healthy and taking care of yourself and having healthy skin, because it's beautiful whether it has wrinkles or as long as it's healthy. And so I really like that approach to the way she approaches that.
There's something really forgiving and gracious about that, that you can embrace the stages of your life with calm and tranquility rather than an anxiety. And like you said, it's a problem to be fixed. But you have a range of products here beyond the beauty palette. I'd love to hear a little bit more about the shelves that surround me, because I have, I think, only this much knowledge.
I know, and I have like an infinitely smaller amount being a guy. So maybe you could talk guy-ish, and then maybe you'll have more guys
There's
finding
a couple of products that are really, really popular with both, all. And we have one called Rest Easy, which is a magnesium spray, and it helps with sleep, restless legs. Your body absorbs magnesium far better through your skin than it does if it's ingested, and it can be delivered, where it needs to go instead of being filtered through your liver, and
it works really well.
It works incredibly well, and that is one really thing. Cramping, like and it really does help you sleep. That's why it's called Rest Easy, and it is one that people come back over and over and over for. That is popular with everyone, all ages, all stages.
And if you sleep better, you live better.
Absolutely, yeah. My daughters are addicted to it, and there's lots of talk in the news about magnesium, or at least on our feeds. I think we might be a little biased, but like magnesium is a big, huge thing that is missing in a lot of us, and it is a very helpful thing. So that's one of the things.
We have Relieve, which is a all-natural pain reliever, and so it also has magnesium in it, but in a lower dose. And the magnesium can help with inflammation, but there's arnica in it, and arnica is a natural analgesic, and it works really well for pain, for all sorts of pain, whether it's arthritic pain or muscle pain. It can even help with sunburns. Any kind of pain, the analgesic will help numb that pain. It doesn't take away the issues, but it can help with pain relief. It's a wonderful product for everybody.
We have shower steamers, which are, it's just basically an aromatherapy experience. We have bath soaks for, different things, detoxifying, sore muscles. We have 4 different types of those. So we have a wide variety in the store. Also, we've very carefully curated some things that from other Canadian local companies that we we get fully behind. So for example, Guest on Earth is a cleaning, so laundry, dish soap, all-purpose cleaners, and they have refillable containers, and they sort of are aligned with our principles of transparency, clean ingredients, no phthalates, no endocrine disruptors, and their products are fantastic. So we've curated some other things that we sell that we don't make ourselves or can't make to their quality yet.
One other that I would love to shout out to is through Maple Ridge Farms, which is in Sydenham, Ontario. We carry their honey. And then we also use their honey and their beeswax in several of our, their honey in one of our products and their beeswax in several of our products. And so wherever we can source locally, we do. They're an amazing business. They grow organic flowers, completely organic flowers every year. So we often bring in their wildflowers that we will sell to as bunches.
Wonderful. Yep. Well, I'm curious, just for our viewing audience, Sydenham is how far?
From here, probably 30 minutes.
30 minutes from Westport.
Yeah.
And we like to talk about that greater Westport area. I know Mayor Jones coined that the GWA. And it just stuck with me, and I thought, there are so many places that if you lived in a big city, 30 minutes is nothing. I live, south of Ottawa. To drive 30 minutes, I do that multiple times a week. So that range of what is the catchment of what Westport has to offer, it's beautiful that you're partnering with someone that's nearby.
Yeah.
And maybe we could talk about that for a minute, because you guys know different other businesses that you're partnering with, or other different experiences, because one of our friends in Charbet Lake, he says there are accommodators and experience providers. And then there's the whole idea of retail, and we're in a retail environment. But this weekend, my wife Diane and I will be going to Upper Canada Village, because they have a 5K run, and you see the Christmas tree lights, and then you gather for dinner.
That's right.
So it's going to be my first time doing that, but that's what I'm hoping, together with a lot of Westport businesses, we could try and think of creating not just what's on Westport, but what's on in the GWA. Because when you think of all the things going on in Sydenham, and to me, we're like the eastern townships outside of Montreal or outside of Quebec City. Like, we just have so much going on in the eastern townships of Ontario that it is staggering. And Westport is the perfect hub, as my friend Mark Snyder would say, because 3 hours Toronto, 3 hours Montreal, hour and a bit, Stittsville, Canada, 45 minutes Kingston, 25 minutes Perth, Smith Falls, 35, whatever. That it's really a great hub.
We think it's the right place. We think it's the central, I love being this close to all of the little villages and towns that are around here, and it's an easy day trip. Let's go for lunch here, and Westport does seem to be the center of all of that.
And then the lakes as well, and the cottagers that come from all over. I mean, people come from all over Canada. They come from the U.S. to cottage in all of this area in the GWA, and we see them in droves in the summer.
They come in our doors, and they then take their love for our products back home with them, and then order. But I am amazed at where people come from that walk through our doors. We just had our first sale to France because of somebody whose mother has a cottage on, I think it was on the Big Rideau. I don't remember exactly which lake, but one of the nearby lakes, and so she happened to come into our store when she was visiting her mother, and so we just sent some product to Chamonix.
There you go.
Wow.
Probably some skincare for those winter seasons.
That's exactly what she said. My dry skin needs it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's pretty cool to have our skincare really sold in France. That's pretty awesome.
Really neat. And I know that you offer an experience when someone comes in the store. I'd love you to share a little bit about what that feels like, because you do come in, there's a lot of bottles around here, there's a lot of jars. Where would a person start?
Yeah, that's a really important thing. I'm glad that you talked about that, because it was really important to us to have, when you walk through the doors, immediately your senses are turned on, and you go, wow, what's that smell? And that smells so great. Because we manufacture everything here, we really, really wanted it to be an experience for people. So normally, sort of right where we're sitting, we have a the sand table for adults, like the play table where we've got,
All
you know,
testers.
you can all the testers, you can try the body scrubs, and you can try, you know, all of our products. You can smell them and sort of a sensory experience, but you can watch us making. We're, you know, on a Saturday or Sunday in the middle of summer, maybe we're not making because the store is busy, but we're almost always, when the store is open, making some product or another. And so it is an experience, and we want to make sure that that is clear, that you're not just walking into a store where we're trying to sell you something, but you know, it's worth opening the door and just looking around and experiencing it. For the building and for...
Well, there's certainly the welcoming atmosphere, and like you do say, it is a sensory, like it's just like, I've arrived somewhere different and I need to know more about what I'm doing. So usually there's a counter here, you can try all kinds of things, somebody can walk you through and help you out. That's a big part of the industry that you're in too, is a consciousness of being able to sample things ahead of time. But I think from what I've seen before when I came for another visit, is it's done in a very environmentally friendly way too. You're not spending a lot of packaging, handing out samples. Tell us a little bit about that and how that unfolds.
The sustainability of
the sustainability, because that was evident to me on my first visit.
Yeah, as much as we can, we try and be as sustainable as possible. So using glass, aluminum, wherever we can as far as our packaging goes. We don't have a bunch of little throwaway things wherever we can. Packaging is a challenge for us. We've to find a Canadian sourced packaging company that the packaging works on a consistent basis and doesn't cost too much money is extremely challenging. So that's been our biggest challenge, but we've worked it out for the most part. It's taken a couple of years to get there, and lots of trial and error, and we're still working on it at the moment.
And some of our packaging is plastic, and that's partly practicality. So we did have, we had our scrub in these beautiful glass jars, which mine at home still is. Haven't broken it yet, but it's in the shower and it's slippery and it would smash.
I dropped a jar last week. Yes,
right.
I know.
So we're trying to do the balance of what is practical for the product, but also for sustainability and recycling. And we're really working on, we seem to have been working on this for a while, but working on refills and you know, less packaging so people can come in with their beautiful glass and have it refilled. So you know, it's a work in progress, but the packaging has been so consuming at points to try and get it right, and to try, you can see why some companies just put it in plastic, it's fine, it's like I give up.
But a cardboard sleeve can be recycled better than you know, some kind of other shrink wrap that comes off and then gets thrown in the trash. There's lots of ways.
So we try to balance out all of the choices that we make. You know, our Nourish, which is our top selling product, and the Keystone, it's in aluminum top and bottom, but plastic middle. And again, it has to be in an airless container. It's very difficult to source anything that's glass, and
or expensive, which then we would have to increase the price, and it's a top end seller on the sales side of things. It's the top end, so we're trying to be
considerations. It's in your mindset.
Yes,
for sure. And I can see that it's in the operations that you have thought that through very carefully.
Every single decision has been thought through. We had a labeling company that was in Canada, but not close to us. It would have had to ship, and we were able to find an amazing label company, printing company in Kingston. That is, we can literally, they've got labels ready for us right now, and we will just drive there when we're in Kingston next and pick them up, and it is so awesome to have a local business that we can support. And you know, we have lots of packaging, lots of different labels, so hopefully we're giving them lots of support, and it's just fantastic to have that. And the more we can find that, the more connections we can make, the better. And that's what we're beginning to do, and to try and make those connections. But it's difficult. It's difficult to find that network of you know, people that are suppliers or you know, that kind of thing. So
interesting.
But is with intent.
I have another question about sort of the operations and experience. Do you ever do workshops?
We do.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
We've done a couple in store when we first started. So you can only have so many people because it's a small space, unless we can figure out sort of the basement somehow to do workshops. But we've done lots outside of here, and so we've gone to Truesdale's in Sydenham and done one. Lisa's done one in her home before that we did for charity for the Canadian Cancer Society. We've done them at Holistically Hip in Kingston, just around if people sort of invite us in. We do anywhere from candle ones to face masks to our honey balm we did before we launched it as a product that we sold here. We did it in a couple of workshops.
And people
get ready for a watercolor Westport workshop.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great.
I'm also going to do a book club. I haven't even told you this yet.
Oh.
Yeah. Our friend's daughter has a book club, and they always do an activity or a workshop and have somebody come into the house that's hosting it to do a workshop. And I've been asked if we can do that.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
That's really great. It's a way to inspire, right? And educate.
Yeah.
So many people purchase skincare products at large, or whatever, personal care products, home products, at large retailers without really knowing all the options that are out there for better choices.
Yeah. And the workshop that I did at my house was actually a fundraiser for the Cancer Society, and it was maybe some people who wouldn't necessarily sign up for a skincare workshop, but they were happy to, because it was a charity event, they were happy to come and play and do it. And with the feedback that we got was so much, I'm never doing this. I'll just give you I know why skincare costs what it does. This is a science. You have to be so precise. Like, why would I ever want to make it myself? And there's so much that goes into it that people don't realize. And I think it's really great that they, some of the workshops that we've run, they can see the number of different ingredients and how precise it needs to be, because people were not so precise, and it doesn't turn out. It's just, even though we're small batch, everything needs to be controlled, precise, and the method in which it's created, if it's not followed, that too means that it's not going to turn out. It's not going to be fluffy. It's not going to stay emulsified. It's temperature is important. All of the parts of the process are really important.
Yeah, and I think the consistency of the products, that when I come 6 months from now and buy the next jar, it's going to be just as good as the last jar.
Yes.
Because that makes a big difference with smaller operations, because as you said, it's an unregulated industry in many ways.
Yep.
And regulation on one side, meaning the ingredients, but then also on the production process. So it's
and we haven't been without fault in that area. We have had, just right at the worst possible time, right at
issue with an ingredient.
Right at Black Friday, when we're selling a whole bunch, and we make things in small batches, and some of our products can be scaled and some really can't. So you have to make multiple small batches because they just don't turn out at scale. We had an issue with Nourish, and one of our ingredients from one of our suppliers changed. The quality wasn't there, so it wasn't emulsifying properly, and we lost a lot of product. A lot of product.
Yeah.
Like she said, should I just throw this out? And I'm like, okay, but I don't want to be there when you do.
It just hurts your heart too much.
It hurts, and
it's depressing.
The hard part too is that it had been packaged, and so the packaging that it goes in also couldn't be salvaged because it can't be cleaned.
Oh dear.
So we lost. That was
devastating.
A hard one and a hard lesson.
But you learned a lot.
We learned a lot, and and the biggest issue is that some of those things went out, and so we don't know who got that batch and who got. We will now. So we have
the tracking method.
Yep. Yes. But it was a huge lesson learned. Huge lesson learned.
Well, I'm sure that if someone received something that was subpar, they can
we
absolutely
sure hope so.
count on you to stand behind it and replace it and do whatever's needed to make them happy.
No matter where they are.
Yes.
We'll get it to them.
Yeah, that's a real hallmark, I'm sure, of everything. Yeah.
100% is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Customer service is of the utmost importance to us. and making sure that our customers are.
And we want
satisfied.
people to tell us. We want to get the email saying, you know what, this is separated on me, and we want to be able to make it right. Because if we can't, and we don't know about it, we can't make. Yeah, they might not come back, and we don't know about it for the future. So.
Right, we're all in the process of improving things.
Yeah.
Well, I can't thank you enough for spending your morning with us and sharing your story. I feel just so privileged to have spent the time with both of you. So thank you so much.
This has been great.
Yeah, it's been great.
It's been great.
I appreciate you coming.
So thank you for joining us again today on Watercolor Westport Stories podcast. You can like, follow, and share us on so many platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you watch your podcasts. And drop us some comments. If you have questions for our retailers today, we can certainly get them sent over to them and they can respond to you. If you have ideas for other episodes, send them our way as well. And we look forward to chatting with you again.